Hello and welcome to another edition of BuzzFeed Unsolved Postmortem, a show where we answer your most pressing questions about the most recent episode of BuzzFeed Unsolved, which was the Old City Jail.
Whoa, what a jail.
All the questions we're answering today came from you guys via our BuzzFeed Unsolved Facebook page, our BuzzFeed Unsolved Instagram page, or directly on the video on Bun.
Old jail, old building.
It was an old building, it was a gross building. It was
smelly, dusty, fun though.
In the gross rankings, where does this lie?
Actually not that bad because it felt like, let's see if we land on the same thing here. Grossest place we've ever been.
Penhurst Asylum.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yes, that place was disgusting because it was actually condemned. And
like the places we were crawling around, I feel like people hadn't been there in a while.
I also felt like there was a strong possibility there were squatters in that building as we were investigating
Possibly.
And I got very Texas Chainsaw vibes from the whole area, and I was not a fan.
But Old City Jail had like a good dirt, like a historical dirt to it.
You are a weirdo when it comes to dirt. You often say you let things fall on the ground on purpose just so you can ingest some soft germs.
Soft germs are healthy for a good immune system, and I'm not a doctor. I've said this before and I'll say it again, I am not a doctor.
I don't think you need to make that clear, especially wearing those glasses.
Hey, look, man.
I said it once and I said it before, you do look like Tony Stark if he lost all of his money.
Well, anyway, let's get into those questions. Oh, wow, well, I'll start over in Grahamtown, one of my favorite places to be. Here's from Starry Blue 2. For postmortem, no offense, but your apparition kind of looked like a macadamia nut rolling across the floor. Slanty emoticon. Hashtag Shaniac.
What kind of weirdo?
What kind of nuts you eating?
I'm imagining for you to have, that's the first thing it looked like in your mind. Are you laying belly down on your rug and just rolling macadamia nuts across your bedroom floor, you weirdo? That's strange.
It's pretty funny though.
Who's ever seen a macadamia nut from that perspective?
I honestly can't tell you what a macadamia nut looks like. Outside of peanuts,
that's it.
I'm trying to think of other nuts that I like, and there's not a lot.
Cashews, almonds, hazelnuts.
Almonds, fine. Hazelnuts.
Walnuts?
Now walnuts I like. What's your top nut? Is it a walnut?
It's those chubby nuts.
Chubby nuts.
I think they're called hazelnuts.
This week's hashtag is chubby nuts.
They kind of look like, have you ever seen? It's a Brazil nut.
A Brazil nut.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Oh.
This guy. Anyways, those are my favorite kind of nuts. What was the question?
Something about the apparition.
This comes from Jake Beach on Facebook. That was not a spirit that the static cam caught on video. That was a dude walking by in a t-shirt. Get it together, Ryan. Hashtag Shaniac, but Ryan is cool too.
Oh, nice.
You do realize a ghost would be just a person walking around in a t-shirt too, right?
T-shirt, huh?
Yeah, a little ghost clothes on. He went to Ghost Walmart, got himself some Ghost Hanes, put it on. I was like, I don't like this one. Let's go Fruit of the Loom instead. Now let's go walk in front of Ryan's static.
We had an extended conversation.
It was long. We knew we were gonna have to pretty much talk about it here. So basically,
what are you doing?
I'm trying to make a visual.
This isn't gonna be effective.
Here's like the second landing, here's the third landing, here's the first floor.
Yeah.
The camera was here on the third landing, looking down onto the landing of the second floor. This is the window right here. This plane is the window. It's possible
you could see the window from there.
There could be a sliver that you can maybe see the window. I still think it's highly unlikely. We'd have to put the camera exactly in that spot at the angle it was. I also did watch footage of us walking around in that landing. It looks different, that's all I can really say. Like but the glow, the luminance of it. Like I saw some people saying that the glow,
they did say like,
looks like someone wearing a white t-shirt. It's just, that's how people show up on that camera. Like when we're walking around, we look like ghosts.
Yeah.
So, we also had two cameras, one on the third floor, one on the first floor, our static cameras. I synced up those timelines to isolate where we were in the building. All of us were on the first floor.
But there's no oversight to this process.
You can look at it if you like. This one I don't really even need to argue.
I think we need some sort of checks and balances here, because you've been wrong in the past.
Okay.
In the past, there's been a few situations where you've been like, that's impossible.
I'm pretty resolute on this one. You can go look at the footage if you like. A little more, see for yourself. I wish there was a camera on me when I was looking through this, because as Shane knows, I look through every second that we film, and oftentimes, bupkis. Zero zilch. In this case, it was like 1 o'clock in the morning. I was like scrubbing through, I was like sitting back on my seat and I was just kind of watching. I leaned back like this so I could see the full screen.
Sure.
And when that thing crossed, I went, Eureka.
Wow.
I got a text. No.
Yeah, you didn't.
I can't text Shane because I need him to see this live.
It's the only time you've ever been
Truly happy.
Yeah.
Dark. All right, moving on. You know what, this could be a double header here. This comes from Gemma Yeskis Alaman, and this is like one of those little meme formats. Ryan and Shane, I don't know why we're not taken seriously as ghost hunters. And then also Ryan and Shane seducing a ghost by showing their belly button. Here's the double header part of this. This also comes from Cat Val from YouTube. I like how they literally have one of the best pieces of evidence they've ever gotten, and all anyone is talking about is their belly buttons. Which,
Look,
fair.
1, we got great belly buttons. 2, you know, that was just something that happened in the moment. Mm-hmm. And like a lot of people, I've seen this a lot. We've talked about this before, so I don't mean to harp on it, but people will say, well, you're not gonna get anything from the ghosts if you stand around acting like jackasses. We're quiet for a long time. Mm-hmm, yeah. We're very respectful. Usually by the time we're drumming our little bellies,
yeah.
That's, you know, we stood there for a long time. We're not gonna include 10 minutes of silence.
I mean,
we move on to more provocative measures.
And to be fair, maybe it worked because a mere few feet away from where we drum these little bad boys, that's where we caught ourselves the juicy FBA.
That was the ghost leaving the building. I'm done here.
I also love that in the episode it hard cuts from us drumming our belly buttons to showing a full-bodied apparition, which is really just the duality of this show.
But yes, the belly button bit is the one where our cameraman Mark, as soon as we left the room, said, "That's the stupidest thing I've ever shot."
I saw a lot of you out there trying to guess which was the dumbest thing that we ever shot. You maybe thought it was the beatboxing. You thought it maybe
that was good.
Beatboxing was also pretty stupid.
We're very good at that.
They also said that as they were watching the episode, every time something stupid happened, they were like, that must be it. That must be the dumbest bit they ever shot. And then things just kept getting dumber as the episode went on. What a ride, right?
Yeah, I got one from Grahamtown. Here's from Shani X Pop Off. Not gonna lie, I was promised a bit of Ryan fainting, and I'm a bit happy and upset that I didn't see it, but like I'm still super happy that I got to see this right when it came out. Plus this was super cool, and you might have caught an FBA on camera. I did see a lot of people say, I thought Ryan was gonna faint, and you never said you fainted.
I did say I blacked out though.
Blacked out.
Which is true. I watched footage of myself doing that entire walk. I'd say about half of it I don't remember doing. And that's because I truly was so scared that I manufactured some false sense of bravado to try and get myself through that experience so I didn't piss myself. It was the first time in my entire life, this is true, where I watched footage of myself and I didn't know who I was watching.
As sort of maniacal as you get on that solo investigation, there was a palpable fear in your eyes walking into it.
No, I truly did not think I could make it through. When that clip of you saying like, you gotta do this, you're a ghost hunter, and I kind of whimper out this like, no. I truly, more than anything in my entire life, did not want to be in that building. I've thought about it since. Even after the shoot ended, Shane was nice enough to buy the crew beers because he could see how rattled I was in particular.
It was like 4 a.m. too.
And I sat in his room and my hand was still shaking
as
I sipped beer. I'm not exaggerating, this is a true story. I was genuinely maybe the most shook I've ever been in my entire life, other than maybe the Sally house. But even so, I think this might have been worse because this comes on the heels of, what, 50 or so ghost investigations?
Yeah. Also, at the end of the episode, when we walk out into the street, that was not even, we weren't like, all right, let's shoot our final scene out here on the street. A lot of times we'll be like, we need a wrap-up scene here.
Exactly.
Ryan just left the building and walked out onto the street. Like he just left. I also took a photo of Ryan.
Oh yeah.
It was after your solo, right?
As you guys were packing up gear, you said, just sit down and take it easy. And I did, so I sat there and I think I just decompressed and tried to like somehow unpack everything that had just happened to me.
And I just quietly took some photos to show you. And please enjoy this photo, look at that.
That's a truly shaken man right there.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on here.
Grahamtown. Here's Joy of Starlight 26 hashtag postmortem. What was your guys' favorite episode to shoot this season? That's a trick. There was You know what's unique about this season is that almost every episode, I think save for Loey Lane, though that was a late one.
That was also a late one.
Every single episode had some sort of
External factor.
hitch in the giddy up that really made it difficult, which is why we're out of our minds this season.
Yeah, there was always a metaphorical fly in the ointment.
I think I'd go with the Yorktown, which wasn't necessarily the spookiest place we've been, but it was a fun change of pace. Big old ship like that. You know, we've been to the Queen Mary, different vibe here. What about you? Lighthouse, also pretty cool.
Lighthouse was cool, but I gotta say, even though I did get the willies scared out of me,
Old Jail?
Old City Jail, I did have a fun time shooting there, until the end, of course. You know what that episode felt like to me? Like through the first 3/4 of it before we get to the investigations individually, I knew that was coming. So it was almost like I was trying to have as much fun as I possibly could until I had to be alone, because I thought maybe this is the last time I'll do anything on Earth.
Yeah.
And it felt like a last meal for me, almost, to be honest. And God, that episode was fun. There are some of the silliest things we've ever shot there, all of which I have no regrets about.
Yeah.
And the ending is probably the most memorable experience I've ever had investigating anything. It's truly an experience I will never forget.
Also, Charleston. What a city.
This comes from YouTube. This is from That One Sophie. What was the...
Wait. That other Sophie? Or that... Oh, that one Sophie. Just having some fun. She was having a little fun.
What was the thought process behind Choo Choo Pickle Pie? Hashtag postmortem.
Frankly, I don't think there was one.
Now I was curious about this too. It felt dissociative, to be honest. It felt like you just mentally cracked for a
I
second.
channeled the vibes of the
because
universe.
I was talking. If you watch the episode again, I was talking, and all of a sudden you just hear Choo Choo Pickle Pie, and I like looked up like, what the hell just happened? And you started giggling to yourself. I thought you snapped. It's a weird thing to say out of thin air.
Yeah, I guess.
What were you thinking that you just...
I really don't remember.
Because I make weird noises all the time.
I forgot I said that until that we saw edits of the episode.
Whoa!
It's time. Well, now I'm doing a slow simmer down here, sort of like Macho Man. Okay, it's time for our roast morning, ladies and gentlemen. We don't actually have a lot of them this week. We only have 3, but that's okay, because they're still pretty potent. From Bone Snatcher, hashtag roast mortem. Oh, the way Shane and Ryan attempt to seduce the ghost. Even if it was for laughs, it was more horrifying than sexy, because there's little tildes, so I guess I'm just doing that. Joke's on you, we weren't trying to be sexy. Well, joke's on me, I guess, because I was. That's the only way I know how to be sexy, is to show my belly button off, and only my belly button. Because guess what? Sexiness is relative. Motherfucker!
Let's go to Siddhartha.tw, hashtag rosemortem. My grandmother can beatbox better than that. I doubt it!
Well, and if that's true, then your grandmother sounds like an incredible beatboxer.
That was a grandmother doing
Yeah, why did you just bark?
That's a grandmother trying to do a beatbox because grandmother speak like this. What do you need? Oh, I think you need a.
Why do you sound like AC/DC?
Let's go.
Those mortem machines' glasses are cute, but they also make him look like a serial killer from the 70s whose name is something like Kevin or Todd, who develops his own film and has at least 3 cats. That was rich. There's a storied narrative there. Develops your own film. That's pretty decent.
I guess.
Pretty decent. I don't know.
I don't know. It was good, I guess.
I don't have any other ones.
Holy
Got
shit.
nothing else.
No,
that's all I got now.
This keeps getting dumber and dumber.
Winding down on the voice.
Yeah, it's time to settle in for the night.
That's been.
Sun's getting real low. My mouth tastes like peanuts.
Check out this mug. That's available on the store.
We also have Hot Topic stuff.
Yeah, check that out.
Yes, pinch.
Try to
it's-
pinch zoom
yeah,
it. It's not.
It's not. Here, you can go to Hot Topic to check out that merch. Those designs are pretty tasty, I will say.
Very good.
They're delicious.
Just, I'm trying to get the pinch going here.
That does it for this episode of BuzzFeed Unsolved Postmortem. That is the season finale. Thank you all for a great season, for watching every episode. November 10th, we're gonna be in Washington, D.C. We're gonna be doing
Becomes Us Festival.
a live show there. And tickets are still available, I think. Other than that, I think that's it, Gouligans. I think that's the end of the season.
Yeah.
What the?
I don't know, just a wink.
Thank you all for watching. The support means everything. You're the reason why we could keep making this show. Thank you to all the team behind the scenes. Yeah, good season, guys.
Good
Huh?
season. Got an FBA.
We did get ourselves, we bagged ourselves an FBA.
As Ryan says.
IMO.
He's like, oh, I want to kiss a ghost so bad.
Nope.
Oh, I just want to smooch one. Where's Casper?
Thank you.
Bye-bye.